Forests occupy about 4 billion hectares or 30% of the Earth's land surface. These forests and these trees house more than 50% of the world's flora and fauna. Kitale Museum has about 89 hectares of land, of which more than 90% is occupied by indigenous forests. Everywhere across the world, forests and trees are important in many ways. Can you remember why forests and trees are important? Do you know how forests and trees have been used in your community?
The forest itself, we understand in the current situation of climate change, the role forest plays in kind of controlling carbon emissions and giving us clean air, and also forests being places where our rivers and springs emanate from. So they're very important water catchment areas. So that's number one. So our role is to conserve that water catchment area and all the biodiversity within this place. Now, we are in highly urbanized area, and as you know, most estates don't even have spaces where children can just play. And so Kitale Museum then is that place where people can come and have opportunity to engage in nature walk and just have spaces where they can do their outdoor activities.
Every generation has expressed its respect for trees, maybe different from community to community, but all communities have harbored a deep sense of respect for the trees based on what the trees offer. Traditionally, trees have been used to provide the air that we breathe, food that we eat, treatment to all kinds of diseases, both for humans and animals. The trees have been used as fuel. They have provided materials for housing. They have provided wood for making home items. Trees are sources of water, places of worship in some communities, among many other uses.
Tukitoa makanda yake huwa tunatumia kama dawa ya kutibu mwili, hata kama mtu anakonjeka ugonjwa kali, akipika hiyo dawa akikunywa anapata nafuu haraka iwezekanavyo.
Things have changed over time, and the uses of trees have not. However, in the modern world, with 7.9 billion people, demand not just for the products of trees, but the land on which the trees grow have increased. Between 2001 and 2015, over 300 million hectares of tree cover was lost. Many forests have been destroyed by man, including Kitale Museum forest. This action by human beings harm the entire ecosystem that the forests support, including the wildlife present within the Kitale Museum and the sources of water within Kitale Museum. Actions like irresponsible solid waste disposal and sewage from Kitale town endanger the survival of this very important community resource. Every stakeholder has a part to play in restoration and conservation of our forests. The administration, civil society organizations, the business community, the media.
We are having a very important activity here, that is tree planting. You see behind me we have a whole lot of stakeholders who have come out to do this planting exercise.
All of us must work together to succeed. Information on the conservation of forests, both in schools and communities, has been scarce. We are raising a generation that doesn't care about conservation or its benefits. However, efforts of community groups like the Friends of the Museum that are working on the restoration of Kitale Museum forest must be commended.
Of course, we have rehabilitated the picnic site. We are working on the camping site, and so we are going to diversify the kind of product this museum can showcase. I'm engaging younger people also to come and just tell us ways in which they can exploit and they can use this site, because life, there should be a participatory process even when you're working with your stakeholders, so that you understand their needs better. I cannot sit here and assume I know the needs of young people, I know the needs of women, the need of young men, and so the only way that will also make me respond to the needs of this town is by stakeholder involvement in decision making. And that's where also Friends of Kitale Museum Society then becomes useful, because they are also, as stakeholders, we have stakeholders of different age groups, and so they'll be able to come here and identify ways through which national museums, the Kitale Museum, can help support their ideas and also make the site useful to them.
The effects of cutting down trees are devastating, majorly global warming. But really, what this means is that we have more carbon dioxide, more heat, less water, irregular weather patterns, minimal harvest from our farms, and so much more. Conservation of Kitale Museum forests is and must be everyone's obligation, not just to plant a tree, but to nurture them to grow and become beneficial in the community which this forest exists. If we all did the right thing now, protected our forests, like our very own survival depended on it, which of course it actually does, maybe we, if not us, the future generation, will live in a better world. You can be part of this change by doing your part. Participate in tree planting initiatives and programs, donate resources for this cause. And without any campaign or special events, plant and grow trees as a private citizen. Together, we can create the change that we all want. A better world. Plant a tree for a birthday. Plant a tree for your anniversary. Plant a tree for every occasion. Plant a tree every day. Every time you have an opportunity. Anywhere and everywhere. Do not allow people to cut down trees anyhowly. Become a champion today.